So Rockstar Games have come up with their own revolutionary software to completely change the way characters are animated in the game. A massive thank you to Samyam for doing an original video on this. Her initial video went into the more intricate details of how this new technology works, but in this video I'm going to try and explain my simplified understanding of how it works. So in GTA 5, the characters were animated basically with different variables. So for example, they had running, walking, shooting, and those are the sorts of parameters we really had to work with. Of course, we had directional information depending where the character was facing and what angle they were shooting at, but it wasn't a perfect mechanism. So for example, if you were pointing your gun in that direction and you were running, your legs weren't exactly facing the same direction. It was a bit off, it wasn't perfect. But Rockstar have recently filed their own patent for their own way of creating character animations in GTA 6. It's essentially a more expanded version of the Red Dead Redemption 2 way of doing things, but with a lot more AI involved. So they've created their own AI, and what this AI does is basically take a blackboard, which is the state of emotion the character's in, whether they're drunk, happy, sad, whether they're walking through snow, whether they are slipping on ice, whether it's raining outside. They've taken all of this information from the game engine and applied this to character animation states. For example, they might send an input to one arm, an input to another arm, an input to the head, an input to the legs. Basically, it's feeding off a database taken from the game engine. Now, originally, the way that this worked was, it was literally just an animation sequence programmed into the character. So the way that AI works is quite complicated, but let's try and make it simple. Basically, over time, they've given their character animation AI a load of inputs. So for example, they've taught it that the character might be drunk, that it's windy outside, that it's raining outside, and maybe wind and rain might be an important one with where Vice City is located on the map. And whenever their AI has spat out an incorrect animation sequence, for example, Lucia being drunk but walking perfectly, they'll go back through the AI and then feed it different information to get different output. So this can take a long period of time. They're basically constantly having to correct this AI system to teach it. But the system is learning from the inputs they're giving it. This, combined with the euphoria and game engine physics, will really work together to create a really immersive and unique experience, and we'll get back onto that in a minute. So in GTA 5, they used an animation tree, which is essentially, is the character drunk? Yes, they walk like this. Are they shooting? Yes, then they hold the gun like this. Basically, it was just working off very linear and simple inputs. So what is the difference between this animation tree and this new AI system? Well, an animation tree is pretty surefire. You can read through the whole tree and be 100% sure on what the outcome's going to be. So for example, in an animation tree, if Lucia is drunk, she will fall over. But with the AI system, it's the system itself that makes that decision. So if she's drunk and tired, the AI can make its own decision. It can decide whether she's walking down a hill, up a hill, whether it's windy, whether it's rainy. There's so many other factors that the AI takes into consideration to make a decision on whether she falls over, whether she can walk properly, and also how people around her respond to her. It's the AI's decision what happens, not an animation tree's decision. So what does this all mean? Well, firstly, it means more unique gameplay. No two people are going to have the exact same experience, because for example, if you walk somewhere at night and it's windy and it's rainy and Lucia's drunk or something like that, she might fall over, she might not. The events that happen are entirely up to the AI system to decide what happens to Lucia and how her animations take place and how she behaves. This also means great social media content. Now, we know that social media is a core part of GTA 6. We're very clear about that from the trailer. So this means that we're going to get completely unique and different content for every single person, even if they do essentially the same thing. And the final thing I want to talk about is a character awareness. So I mentioned in one of my previous videos before I knew anything about this that the trailer was a bit worrying for me, and I got rinsed in the comments because I was saying that, for example, people were leaning out of cars and reacting to what Lucia's doing, and I don't see how they'd implement that in the game unless they had a new form of technology. And the comments were saying that I'm dumb and that I'm stupid and it's just an animation sequence and I should know that. I got battered in the comments. But it turns out I was right. Rockstar have got their own proprietary AI system to make this work. So for example, the people around you can tell what you're doing and they can read off your mood state as a character. So if Lucia's sad, if she's happy, or if some information in the game engine is input into Lucia's state, for example, she is drunk, I know I keep saying that, but it's the best example I can give, then the people around her will respond in different ways. So if she's hanging out of a car, then people around her are more likely to respond and, for example, film her. Or this person sat on the street is more likely to respond in different ways to the people around them, depending if they're happy, if they're sad, if they've had a stressful day, if they've had a good day. I'm assuming this character AI system is only really for the main characters in the game. I think that maybe the other characters reading and understanding your state of mind and your state as a character is probably going to be passed on to the other characters within the game, so they can read what's happening around them. but I think a lot of this complex animation system is probably going to be most beneficial to us as the character we are playing. So I honestly suggest going and watching Samyam's full video on this, and also if you are interested in animation work, she does have tutorials and more information about all of this sort of stuff. That is all linked in the pinned comment for this video, so go and check that out. So yeah, this is really exciting, and this means we're not going to get the same sort of animation sequences that we had in Red Dead Redemption 2 or GTA 5. Obviously we knew that to an extent, but we didn't really understand how Rockstar were going to implement that. Now we do. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.